What's happening, y'all? It's your man Flex, and this is the first episode of the Flex Files podcast. All right. So, this is going to be more of like podcast form. Um, and the topics are going to be maybe probably even more, a little bit more broad than just dating, right? So, if you want to, if you want to leave a comment below and what you want to leave suggestions or maybe even Q&A, like so you can ask me topics that you want me to cover, right? That's what this style is going to be more like. Which is a little different than my car videos, you know what I mean? So my car videos is typically just us shooting the talk, you know what I mean? And we just kind of like vibing and talking about different topics, but mostly dating a lot of times. We can still talk about dating on this as well. But the title for this episode number one, is going to be Just Start Already. Whatever it is, just start it already. You know what I mean? Stop doubting yourself. You know what I mean? Stop doubting yourself and have the confidence to just start whatever you are trying to do. I know it sounds very cliche and very basic, but a lot of times it is as simple as that, right? And before we get into it, make sure to click the subscribe button below, and that way when I post a new video or podcast or whatever it may be. If you're new here, thank you for joining the channel. I'm very appreciative. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers, excuse me, and also the old and recurring ones. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been keeping this afloat since day one, back in 2020. You know what I mean, during the pandemic and COVID. Thank y'all so much, right? So yeah, let's get into it. Don't mind this bandana. I'm just leaving the gym. So when I shoot stuff at night, nine times out of 10, I'm leaving the gym. So I'm probably gonna be rocking the bandana. But anyways, let's get into it. Like I said, just start. A lot of people struggle with just starting, right? I myself included. I think a lot of times people struggle with starting a journey because they have fear of rejection or fear of failure, I should say, right? Um, Fear of rejection for, applying, for college, and maybe they won't get in, or um, um, maybe even just the fear of, you know, just falling on your face after you've had doubters, tell you, well, maybe it's not the right time, or don't you think it's a little too old? You think you're a little too old to be starting this chapter in your life, and like if I was you, I would have done it earlier. I would have done it before I had kids. I would have done it before I had before I got married. You know what I mean? But the truth is, y'all, it's never the right time, the perfect time to start something. Yeah, we want to have an ideal timeline, or like when you think about it, be like, well, yeah, I wish I would have started back then, but well, the past is the past, right? And if you still have that desire to go after your dreams and your goals and things that you have in your heart and that you itching to do, if you still have that desire deeply and you can't shake it, that is your inner self telling you, and that is your spirit telling you that you need to start. Okay. You need to start. You need to keep going, or you need to start. You need to have the plan in action to start and to go and to execute, right? And also understand that, hey, you know what? Things may not go perfect, and this probably will be difficult and challenging, but it's okay. Every nothing worth having comes easy. It just doesn't. Whether that be, like I said, going back to school, going to trading school to learn a trade. Excuse me. Maybe get into medical and billing. Medical coding and billing, I think is what it's called. And I know a lot of people that want to get into that, right? Whether it be starting your fitness journey, right? You want to start your fitness journey. You want to start your, getting your body in the best shape that you can get it in, because you've been neglecting it, right? It could be, starting therapy, but you're scared to, to start it because you don't want to like, unlock any past traumas. Therapy can be a very scary thing for a lot of people. You know what I mean, to get into, right? Um, you know, so everybody has different things that they want to start, but they're scared of it. And sometimes, like I said, you lack the confidence to start it, and you're overthinking, and you think that everything's got to be set in place perfectly for you to start. And that way, if it's set in place perfectly for you to start, then you're going to succeed, right? But that's because a lot of people are scared to fail, and it's easier said than done. But honestly, you can't think about it in that way. You have to, whether you succeed or fail, you have to start regardless of any of that. Whether you succeed or fail, you can't be scared of starting. Those things shouldn't be, sure, you want to be successful, but those things shouldn't be what hinder you from just starting. The thing that, I had to do was I wanted to move away from North Carolina, and I wanted to move to LA, Los Angeles, which is where I live now, right? And I remember back in 2018 or maybe even 2017, which was when both of my parents passed away. And that was when that chapter of my life kind of made me, or that situation in my life made me and prompted me to wonder, do I want to stay in Raleigh? Do I want to stay in North Carolina here? I've always wanted to live in the West Coast in LA, or even travel the world, and live in different places and just like learn about myself and meet new people, be in different environments, and take that risk, take that next step. You know what I mean? And that situation prompted me to do it. But I always doubted myself, and to be honest with you, I dealt with self-doubt a lot growing up. You know what I mean? And so moving to LA was my first step in starting a journey and being confident to just start it, and stepping out there, putting my head out there and taking the risk no matter what. But before that, I was playing different scenarios in my head. Like, what if it doesn't work out? What if I, and I'm not making light of this, but what if I become homeless? Because that was a big fear of mine. And a lot of people deal with fear when it comes to starting something. They deal with the fear of starting something because, they're scared of what's going to happen. And one of my biggest fears was, being homeless. I would hear so many horror stories, and I became infatuated with that. And that was just, negative doubt and my demons. Some people would even say the devil, coming in my head and trying to deter me away from my purpose. You know what I mean? And my purpose was to grow and truly have faith in myself and believe that I can accomplish whatever I put my mind to if I just start. Right. And that was a journey for me. It took me about, a year and some change to really decide and come out here and come out to LA in 2019. And, again, I got in my own head and my own way of being like, hey, what if things don't work out? What if the acting thing doesn't work out? What if, I can't never find an agent? What if I never book anything? What if I run out of money? What if I, just, I don't know. Like, what if people from my church or, friends, family, whatever, what if, they, I don't know, hate on me or laugh at me because I didn't succeed, and because it's very hard. And I had to get to the point where it was like, so the fuck what? You have to like not care about that. Whatever your goal and your dreams are, you have to pretty much move everybody else out. And everybody else is pretty much irrelevant. I'm gonna be completely for real with you. Now, unless you have, if you're married and have kids, I'm single, no kids. It's a little bit different for me, right? When you're married and you have kids, you do have other responsibilities, and I get that, right? But my main point is that when it comes to believing in yourself, you can't doubt yourself because you scared of what other people gonna think and if you fail, right? Because the truth of the matter is that 9 times out of 10, you going for your goals is successful. You actually trying is the success, because most people aren't going to do that. Most people, they think about starting something and they never do because they are scared of failure, rejection, whatever it may be. And they're always thinking, what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? What if is a form of doubt. It's a form of anxiety. That's all what if is. What if is a form of self-doubt, and it's not a form of confidence. You know what I mean? When you're confident, you're willing to bet on yourself, and you're not asking the questions, what if? And if the what if happens, well, you just keep going. You have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D, a plan E, and you're persistent and you're resilient, which most people are not. Nothing worth having comes easy. It's just not. You want to start getting your body right. You want to lose that belly fat. You want to get, internally healthy, get off of blood pressure medication. You want to get into this. You want to take yourself to the next level. Those are not easy feats. They're very hard things to do. I'm not going to tell you that they're easy, because they're not. Those things that I just listed are very difficult to do. Going into law school, nursing school, doctorate, engineer, learning a trade, right? Starting your own business, your own brand, whatever it may be, starting a podcast, right? Whatever it may be, starting your own clothing line, right? The list goes on and on and on. Starting a mental health facility, going to school to be a therapist, a licensed therapist, right? These things are not easy to do. Nothing worth having in life comes easy, and you are doing what most people ain't doing, which is just doing and trying. And if this don't work, well, hey, you got another trick out there. Pull out another trick. Figure it out. You know what I mean? I can confidently say I'm at a stride now living in LA. But there are times where my confidence gets checked, or like self-doubt tries to creep in a little bit. But I have to remind myself that, hey, I'm out here doing this. You know what I'm saying? And I got to believe in myself, and I do believe in myself. I believe I'm capable for greatness. You have to believe that. You have to believe that. Can't nobody else do that for you but you. Honestly, you have to be willing to bet on yourself before anybody else. If you have a vision, you have to be willing to see that vision, and you see it. Everybody else can give you a idea of what you should do, what you probably shouldn't do. You sure you're capable of doing that? Maybe you should try this. No, this is your vision. And I'm not saying you shouldn't seek wise counsel, but seek wise counsel of people that have already done it. They're already exactly where you're at. And that'll be another episode for another day, but seek counsel and get inspiration, motivation, and encouragement from people that are basically where you are trying to be at. You have to be around people that are above you, that have already been through the trenches that you probably gonna have to deal with. So as soon as you decide to just do it, you face your fears, you decide to do it, then you decide, hey, you know what? I need to surround myself. I need a mentor. I need people that have done what I'm trying to do. Not just people, your friends are cool and suggestions are cool, but your friends ain't done what you're trying to do. Your friends are not done what you're trying to do. You're trying to do something. You need to have a mentor, people that have been where you're at and have progressed, and they've been through the trenches, the downfalls, the turmoils of starting something that you're trying to start. And you need that because that's now you see a blueprint and that could be inspiration for you, right? And also help you avoid the pitfalls because they've actually lived through the experience. If you're trying to get in shape, your body to the best point that it can be, You're not going to listen to somebody that is the opposite of that. You're not. I'm sorry, you're just not. Right? If you are trying to go back to school for your doctorate, you're not going to listen to somebody that has not been to school for their doctorate. They don't have experience in what you're trying to do, right? And so you need to find the people who have, and they will give you the confidence and the motivation, and they will constantly encourage you when you feel like quitting and failing and giving up. But first, like I said, you have to just do. And once you decide to just do, man, you will, you know, 2 years, 3 years down the line, even if it's small progressions that you've made and you failed, I guarantee you it is very gratifying to see, you know what? Damn, I really did risk this and I just went after it. I faced my fears and went after it. You have to understand that that's what it's about. It's about understanding that, hey, you know, I faced my fears. And I just did it, which is a lot more to say than a lot of other people, most people. Small victories matter. They really do. And that small victory is you just starting. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to encourage you to whatever it is. You know, even if you didn't start it for 2025, 2025 has been a very rough year for a lot of people. You know, I feel like 2025 has been a lot of people's enemy year, if you study numerology, but 2025 has been a long one already for a lot of people. It's going by fast, but it's been a lot. You know what I mean? So, if you have not yet started, or you started in January and then you fell off in March, February, March, or April, whatever, and you haven't gotten back on it, this is your sign to get back on it, whatever it is, even if it's just planning and writing stuff down in your journal, typing things on, or even on your phone for reference, even doing that. Get your brain to start working, activate that a little bit to where you are like, okay, you know what? Get that blood flowing in that way. It's like a muscle. You have to start to get the blood to start flowing, right? And so that way it can spark something in you, ignite something in you, to be able to start. So I hope this helps somebody. You know what I mean? Like I said, let me know in the comment sections what you want me to talk about next, especially when I do these podcast form sessions with y'all, okay, and episodes with y'all. But again, just started already. Just started already, right? Have the confidence and believe in yourself, right? If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that subscribe button below, so that way you can get, notifications anytime I post any type of video, whether it be my car videos or whether it be my podcast videos, right? I love y'all. Have a dope weekend. It's your man Flex with the Flex Files. I'm out. Peace.